What's up, Hoops fans? Ever seen a beef get so wild that it pulls in a future Hall of Famer? Today, we're not just talking about on-court rivalries. We're breaking down the intense and at times absolutely hilarious social media showdown between Trae Young and Patrick Beverley, with none other than Kevin Durant jumping into the ring. This isn't your average drama. This is a clash of styles, personalities, and winning philosophies. You won't want to miss a single second. All right, let's rewind and break down how this all started. The first shot was fired by Patrick Beverley, the ultimate instigator, known for his relentless defense and his unfiltered takes. He appeared on a podcast and was asked to name players who embody true competitiveness. Now, instead of just naming a few guys, he decided to take a very specific, very public jab at Trae Young. Beverley's argument was simple: he hasn't won enough. He essentially stated that Trae Young, despite his incredible offensive numbers, hasn't reached a level of winning that puts him in the conversation with the league's truly competitive players. It was a direct challenge to Trae's leadership and his place among the NBA's elite guards. It was a classic Pat Bev move, all grit, all noise, and designed to get a reaction. And boy, did he get one. If you know anything about Trae Young, you know he's got a quiet confidence and a competitive fire that's easy to miss if you're only looking at the stat sheet. He doesn't back down from a challenge. Young didn't just tweet a generic comeback. He made a video response, getting straight to the point. He directly addressed Beverley's claim, saying he was never intimidated by him on the court. He even went a step further, pointing out the difference in their playoff success, highlighting his road play-in wins versus Beverley's home wins. That was a surgical strike, a total power move from Ice Trae, proving he's more than just a flashy highlight machine. He's a competitor with a memory. Now, let's talk about why this feud is so fascinating. It's a clash of two completely different styles of basketball. On one side, you have Patrick Beverley. He's the scrappy defensive specialist, a role player who has carved out a long, successful career with his hustle, toughness, and ability to get under opponents' skin. He's been to the postseason more often and is known for being a part of winning cultures. On the other hand, you have Trae Young. He's a pure offensive superstar. His career averages are on a completely different planet, with over 25 points and 9 assists per game. He's a walking bucket and a floor general who can create opportunities for his teammates out of thin air. The stats show a clear distinction. One is an elite role player, the other is an elite star. Beverley's argument about winning is a valid one in some contexts, but it completely ignores the incredible individual talent that Young brings to the table. But here's where the story goes from a simple beef to something truly must-watch. Just as we thought this was a two-man show, Kevin Durant, of all people, decided to jump into the conversation. KD is known for his quiet demeanor on social media, but he couldn't stay silent on this one. He weighed in, calling Beverley's comments delusional. When a player of Durant's stature and respect in the league steps in to defend a younger star, it completely changes the dynamic. It suggests that Beverley's remarks might have gone too far, crossing the line from standard trash talk to something that was just plain inaccurate and out of line. Durant's intervention solidified what many fans were already thinking, that Beverley's critique was more about getting a reaction than it was about a legitimate basketball take. It highlights a common theme in the NBA. Players often defend their own, especially when they feel another player is being unfairly criticized. This whole situation is more than just a simple back and forth. It's a perfect microcosm of what makes the NBA so engaging off the court. We have the clash of personalities, the fiery veteran versus the cool, confident young star. We have the debate over what truly defines success in the league. Is it individual stats or is it team winning? And we have the power of social media to amplify every comment, every jab, and every clapback. It's not just a game. It's a drama series that plays out in real time. It's a reminder that every player, regardless of their role, has a story and a perspective. And when those perspectives collide, it makes for some of the best entertainment in sports. So, With all of that in mind, I want to hear from you. Was Patrick Beverley right to challenge Trae Young's competitiveness, or did he go too far with his comments? And did Kevin Durant have a right to get involved, or should he have stayed out of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of hoops. Peace. Imagine being a starting quarterback in the NFL, but every season you suit up under a different uniform. New teammates, new playbook, new city. It sounds wild, right? Well, Carson Wentz is about to make NFL history, starting for 6 different teams in 6 consecutive seasons. Yes, you heard me, 6 in 6. Stick around, because this story has been a winding road with twists nobody saw coming. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you love football, drama, and stories of resilience, you're going to want to stay for this one. Because Carson Wentz, once a top prospect, once labeled franchise QB, once criticized, once celebrated, has now hit a career milestone that is equal parts surprising and maybe a little bittersweet. Let's lay out how he got here, what this record means, and what it says about the NFL, about quarterbacks, and about Wentz himself. Then I'll tell you what to watch for going forward. And at the end, I want to know what you think this says about his legacy. Carson Wentz, in case you've missed parts of his journey, was drafted 2nd overall back in 2016 by the Philadelphia Eagles. Big expectations, big spotlight, and early success. He looked like a star. But injuries, coaching changes, performance dips, they all piled up. After the Eagles, there was a stretch of starts in other cities: Indianapolis, Washington, the LA Rams, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Each stop has been different. Sometimes he had the starting job because he earned it, sometimes because of injury to someone else, sometimes because teams believed he still had something left in the tank. And now, the Vikings figure in due to an unfortunate injury to J.J. McCarthy, who sprained his ankle. That's opened the door for Wentz to start this season with the Vikings. And by doing so, he becomes the first QB in NFL history to start for 6 different teams in 6 straight seasons. That's not just changing jerseys, that's changing systems, coaches, expectations, environments. That's adapting, that's persistence. That's also probably exhaustion. But make no mistake, it's history. What does 6 in 6 even mean? This record is wild for a few reasons. Starting for 6 different teams in 6 years means Wentz is stepping onto fields under new uniforms every season. Not about being traded once, but almost every year there's a new venue where he's got to learn, blend in, earn trust, take snaps, and lead. Here are the teams, in order. 2020-2021, Eagles. 2021, Colts. 2022, Commanders. 2023, Rams. 2024, Chiefs. 2025, Vikings. Now, each of those changes came with its own story. Someone gets injured, someone goes down, someone loses the job, and Wentz often finds himself somewhere unexpected. What triggered the Vikings start? Here's how the Vikings' chance came about. Their QB situation. J.J. McCarthy, their tattooed youngster everyone's excited about, sprained his ankle, right ankle, in a preseason game, and reports say it's going to keep him out for a while. That's opened the door for Wentz to start this season with the Vikings. And by doing so, he becomes the first QB in NFL history to start for 6 different teams in 6 straight seasons. That's not just changing jerseys. That's changing systems, coaches, expectations, environments. That's adapting. That's persistence. That's also probably exhaustion. But make no mistake, it's history. What does 6 in 6 even mean? This record is wild for a few reasons. Starting for 6 different teams in 6 years means Wentz is stepping on fields under new uniforms every season. Not about being traded once, but almost every year there's a new venue where he's got to learn, blend in, earn trust, take snaps, and lead. Here are the teams, in order. 2020 to 2021, Eagles. 2021, Colts. 2022, Commanders. 2023, Rams. 2024, Chiefs. 2025, Vikings. Now, each of those changes came with its own story. Someone gets injured, someone goes down, someone loses the job. And Wentz often finds himself somewhere unexpected. What triggered the Vikings start? Here is how the Vikings chance came about. Their QB situation. J.J. McCarthy, their tattooed youngster everyone's excited about, sprained his right ankle, in a preseason game. And reports say it's going to keep him out for a while. That opens the door for Wentz. And Wentz doesn't hide from how he feels about it. He said straight up, "It sounds crazy when you say that," speaking with Alec Lewis of The Athletic. He called this journey giving him perspective, going from starter, sometimes being cut, being traded, being a backup, seeing what different franchises do, seeing different levels of expectation. It's broadened how he sees football and life. One line jumped out. Wentz said this season gives him an early entry into playing meaningful games. Normally in the past, his starts might have been in late season or spot filling. This time, he's in the mix from the get-go, and that changes everything. Now, let's talk numbers and history. No other quarterback has done this prior. 6 different teams, 6 consecutive years of starting. That's uncharted territory. People might compare with journeyman QBs. There have been QBs who bounce around, backups, veterans, but not with consistent starts, and especially not being the first to take over in 6 straight seasons. This says something about the modern NFL. Injuries, QB turnover, short leashes, high stakes. Franchise QBs are harder to pin down. But also, it shows Wentz has kept earning opportunities. Maybe not with perfect stat lines, maybe not with perfect consistency, but he's kept proving to teams that he can show up. What does different perspective mean? Wentz said this role has given him perspective. Think about it. Moving from place to place, watching different coaching staffs, watching teammates come and go, seeing how cities treat their QBs, how expectations change. You lose the honeymoon period. You lose the "you must succeed at all costs" aura. You see football as work, and that's tough on any player, especially a quarterback. He also acknowledged he doesn't take anything for granted, because you never know how long the leash will be. One bad game, one bad injury, one coaching change. Lots of quarterbacks know that risk. Wentz, more than most, seems to have lived through it. He's at 32 now. For some QBs, that's when they hit their peak. For others, that's when you start reevaluating. But by making history this way, Wentz is carving out a niche. Not the story people expected in 2016, maybe. But this one, he earned. Legacy isn't always what you think it is. It's not just rings or perfect seasons. Sometimes it's the stories of survival, of taking every job, every chance, of not being done when people wrote you off. Wentz's story is no fairy tale, but it's one of determination. If he goes into the season and drops off, people will say, well, he's just starting for a lot of teams. But if he delivers, even modestly, it'll rewrite the narrative. Imagine if he posts solid numbers, helps Vikings win some games, shows leadership, helps stabilize the QB room. That will shift how people see all of those past years. What to watch this season? Here's where I'll be watching closely. How Wentz performs in Week 1 with the Vikings. First game under the center in this town in a system likely different from what he's had. How's the chemistry with receivers, offensive line? How KJ McCarthy's injury recovery goes when or if he returns, and whether Wentz holds the job. Will this be a short stint or a long stretch? And how the Vikings offense adapts to having Wentz. Do they play more conservative, more intermediate passes, or try to push him into big play throws? And how fans and media treat this milestone. Will people respect it? Will they criticize? Will being the first to start for 6 in 6 straight seasons be viewed as resilient or as bouncing around? So there you have it. Carson Wentz is making history. Not in the way he or many hoped when he was drafted, not as a perennial MVP candidate, but as someone who keeps getting chances, keeps showing up, and is right now about to do something no other QB has. Start for 6 different teams in 6 consecutive seasons. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think this says about Wentz's legacy? Is this a mark of resilience or a sign of instability?
And more importantly, do you believe he can turn this milestone into something more this season? Wins, leadership, moments that matter. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them all. If you like this one, hit like, subscribe, and make sure to check out the video I'm dropping next on NFL quarterback surprises this season. You don't want to sleep on those. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.